Hey guys, so hopefully you have your module 5 at home with you, and we're going to be doing lesson 3, which is probability 3. So we had started module 5 right before this crazy stuff happened and we went on this break. So we're going to pick up right at lesson 3, and let's take a look at number 1. This is page 11. When Jenna goes to the farmer's market, she usually buys bananas. The number of bananas she might buy and their probabilities are shown in the table below. Okay, so we have the number of bananas, 0 bananas, it's a probability of 0.1, so that would be like 10%. Okay, 1 banana, 0.1, 2 bananas, 0.1, 3 bananas, 0.2, so like 20%, 4 bananas, 0.2, and 5 bananas, 0.3, or 30%. All right, let's answer the questions here. A, what is the probability that Jenna buys exactly 3 bananas? So this is so easy. You're just literally using the chart that we have right there. And it says, what's the probability she buys exactly 3 bananas? And our probability for that is 0.2. Okay, B, probability that Jenna does not buy any bananas. So doesn't buy any bananas would be 0 bananas, and that is 0.1. Okay, what's the probability that Jenna buys more than 3 bananas? Okay, so more than 3 bananas would be 4 or 5 bananas. Okay, so this is kind of different because now we have 2 things instead of just 1. So for this one, what we're going to do is we're going to add the 2 probabilities. So we have the 0.2 for 4 bananas, we have the 0.3 for 5 bananas, and so the probability of more than 3 bananas would be 0.5. Okay, D, probability that Jenna buys at least 3 bananas. Okay, so at least 3 bananas is 3 bananas or 4 or 5. Okay, so any of those 3. So we're going to add those up. 0.2, 0.2, 0.3. Okay, so that's 0.7. Okay, next one, probability that Jenna does not buy exactly 3 bananas. So for not 3, we want anything but 3. Okay, so we're going to be adding up everything except for the one that is the 3. So I have 0.1, 0.1, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 0.8 total. Okay, last one, add up the probabilities for 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 bananas. So we're adding up all of them, okay? So if we add up all of these, 1 plus 1 plus 1, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So a whole 1. Okay, and so we have this first key of the lesson right here. It says, this is not a coincidence. The sum of the probabilities of the possible outcomes of any event will always equal 1. And that's because all the different possibilities of what could happen makes up 100% of what could happen. So it'll always be equal up to 1 or 100%. All right, Jenna's husband, Rick, is concerned about his diet. On any given day, he eats 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4 servings of fruits and vegetables. The probabilities are given in the table below. So 0, 0.08, 1, 0.13, 2, 0.28, 3, 0.39, 4, 0.12. On a given day, find the probability that Rick eats. Okay, let's look at A. 2 servings of fruits and vegetables. Okay, so we're looking at 2 servings of fruits and vegetables. Probability of that is from the table is 0.28. More than 2 servings of fruits or vegetables. Okay, so more than 2 would be 3 or 4. So I want to add those up. 0.39 plus 0.12. Okay, so that would be 0.51. C, at least 2 servings of fruits or vegetables. Okay, so if it's at least 2, that would be 2, 3, or 4. So I want to add those up. So 0.28 plus 0.39 plus 0.12. Okay, so that would be 0.79. And then find the probability that Rick does not eat exactly 2 servings of fruits and vegetables. Okay, so on this one, we want not to. So basically we want anything other than 2. So 0, 1, 3, or 4. I'm going to show you a little shortcut on this. Remember what we just learned on number 1. All of them will always equal up to a total of 1. Okay, they'll always equal up to 1. So if you want not one thing, instead of adding up all the other things, you can actually subtract the one thing that you don't want from 1. So I'm going to do that. That's going to make my life way easier than having to add 4 things. I can just subtract the one thing that I don't want from 1, and that would be 0.72. Now, if that confuses you and you want to add up the 0, the 1, the 3, and the 4, that's fine. It'll work out exactly the same. All right, let's read this other key. To find the probability of not a certain event, you can subtract the probability of that event from 1, and that's what we just did. All right, number 3, Lewis works in an office and the phone rings occasionally. The possible number of phone calls he receives in an afternoon and their probabilities are given below. Okay, so find the probability that Lewis receives 3 or 4 phone calls. Okay, before we even go ahead and do this, I'm going to do myself a big favor. I'm going to convert all of these into a common denominator because I know I'm going to have to be adding all these up the whole time. So I'm going to actually get a common denominator here for all these. And between 6, 3, and 9, my common denominator would be 18. So I'm just going to rewrite these with denominators of 18. Okay, so 0 would be 3/18 because there's 3 6s and 18. 1, 3/18 again. 2 is 2 9ths, so that's 4/18 because there's 2 9s in 18. 3 is 6/18. And 4 is 2/18. Okay, so a little bit of extra work in the beginning, but now I've just saved myself a whole bunch of time when I go to answer these 4 questions. All right, question A, probability that Lewis receives 3 or 4 phone calls. I am adding up the 3 and the 4, so 6/18 and 2/18. That gives me 8/18. If I want to reduce that, that's 4 nights. Okay, B, fewer than 2 phone calls. So fewer than 2 would be 0 or 1. So that's 3/18 and 3/18. 6/18 reduces to 3 9ths. C, 2 or fewer. So now I'm 0, 1, or 2. So 3 plus 3 plus 4 is 10/18. 5 9ths if I reduce it. And the last one, does not receive 4 phone calls. So remember our little trick. Instead of adding up 0, 1, 2, and 3, I can just subtract the 4 from 1. So 1 minus 2/18 would be 16/18 or 8 9ths. All right, number 4, when Jenna goes to the farmer's market, she also usually buys some broccoli. The possible number of heads of broccoli that she buys and the probabilities are given in the table below. Okay, so real quick, I'm gonna take some time, get a common denominator here, help myself out. I already have a bunch of 12s, so I'm gonna change the 1/6 and the 1/4 into 12ths. So 1/6 would be 2 12ths and 1/4 would be 3 12ths. Okay, that's just going to make my life a little bit easier now when I go down to do these questions. So A, Buys exactly 3 heads of broccoli. So 3 heads of broccoli, that was 1/4. Does not buy exactly 3 heads of broccoli. Okay, so remember our little trick. Not 3. I can add up 0, 1, 2, and 4, or I can just subtract it from 1. So 1 minus 1/4 is 3/4. Buys more than 1 head of broccoli. So more than 1 would be 2, 3, or 4. So I'm going to add up 5/12, 3/12, 1/12. So that would be 9/12, which is 3/4. Buys at least 3 heads of broccoli. At least 3 is 3 or 4. So 3/12 plus 1/12, which is 4/12, which is 1/3. All right, number 5. The diagram below shows a spinner designed like the face of a clock. The sectors of the spinner are colored red, R, blue, B, green, G, and yellow, Y. Complete the table of probabilities below. Okay, so we have to find our probabilities here. Okay, we're actually creating the table that we're going to use. So remember, there's 12 sections on the clock. So all of our probabilities are going to be out of 12. Okay, and that's just because there's 12 sections here. All right, let's try red. How many sections are red? Well, that's 1 out of 12. Blue. 2 sections are blue, 2 out of 12. Green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections are green. And yellow. 1, 2, 3, 4 sections are yellow. I'm not even going to bother reducing those because I love that they have a common denominator, right? So I'm going to keep them just like that. I might want to double check that all of these add up to 12/12ths, right? Because remember, every probability at the end, it has to add up to 1. So 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 5 is 8. 8 plus 4 is 12. 12/12ths, that works out good. All right, let's look at A. Find the probability that the pointer steps on either blue or green. Okay, so blue is 2/12ths. Green is 5/12ths. So that's 7/12ths. Find the probability that the pointer does not stop on green. Okay, remember our trick. We could either add up the red, blue, and yellow, or we could do 1 minus 5/12ths because that's what green is, and that's 7/12ths. All right, this week you are working on your homework 5.3, okay? It is 2 pages, so make sure that you're doing both pages, okay? And please feel free to text me or email me if you have any questions. And I will talk to you guys soon. Take care.